Welcome back, everyone, to another episode for the fans. Oh boy, McKay, we're getting close to the end of the season.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. Is that a good word to describe it? I mean, like, I'm excited because we're gonna see the end all be all of the season, but I'm also sad because that means now I gotta wait till next fall before I get football again.
I mean, yeah, it's sad because we're gonna lose a lot of football, but I mean, we're still getting a lot of updates. Like we've already gone to quite a bit today, which we'll talk about later. But I mean,
Hmm.
at the same time, it's also very sweet for at least us because our teams did not do so well this year.
Yeah.
So
Whew.
this is our time to get the good players, get rid of the bad, make changes, and do better.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I just feel more bad for you, Shane, though, because I mean, football is kind of your thing, and you kind of have this little span in there where you're like, oh man, now you have to wait until next fall for football to come back. Whereas for me, I'm like, nah, we got All Star Weekend coming up soon for NBA. We got March Madness. We got the Olympics. We got baseball.
Oh wait, yeah, the Olympics is this year. Crap, I totally forgot about that. Okay, that's actually something I'm actually pumped for. I
Well, there you go.
forgot.
You're welcome.
I forgot about the Olympics. Man, wow. I forgot it's 2020. Dang. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm 4 years late. I still feel like the last Olympics just or the last Winter Olympics just happened.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. You
But
know, I think it's kind of exciting with it happening in the summer this year because um, funny little story. But before we go into I'll just make this quick because I know people are like, okay, come on, guys, let's talk about football. But my mother was actually pregnant with me. Was the 1996 Summer Olympics, and that's what she watched while she was waiting for but before I was born. And now it's going to be really exciting because my wife loves the Olympics, and she's going to be super pregnant with my first child, and she'll be like, okay, I'm watching the Summer Olympics while I'm waiting for this baby to come out. So I'm like, okay, this is coming full circle. Would you look at that?
that's actually kind of cool, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, should we get to what we're actually here to talk about since we're not here to talk about the Olympics or any of our family life?
We're here to talk about football, America's pastime. Sorry, baseball, but your time's kind of up.
It's okay. We don't need to get into baseball anyway. They're busy dealing with a sign stealing scandal right now, so let's talk about football.
All right. So, as
So we
everybody,
have.
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. All right. So we have some off-season notes. Before we really get into the AFC and NFC championship games, we have some things that we just want to talk about really quickly that pertain more to the off-season. Shane, I'm going to let you take the first one because this is your baby.
This is my baby. So, as everybody knows, Jaguars were looking for a new offensive coordinator. We fired Coughlin. We fired our previous offensive coordinator, or no, we didn't fire him. We worked with him,
Let him walk.
decided to go separate ways with DeFilippo. I think that's how you say his name. And the Jaguars have announced today that they have hired Jay Gruden as the offensive coordinator, the former, I believe, Washington Redskins head coach and former offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Correct. Yes, Mr. Gruden himself. The less
Which,
popular Gruden.
which I mean, this could be interesting. A lot of people are really excited for him as an offensive coordinator, seeing what he did with Andy Dalton. He seems like a good fit for Minshew, especially. So I think they're really starting to move away from the Foles train a little bit and move on to the Minshew train. Not saying that Minshew is 1,000 times better. Not saying that Foles is 1,000 times better. But it's looking like they're going to go with Minshew for at least for now, just because the way the team is built is very much to Minshew's strength rather than to full strength.
Absolutely. And I think what will be good with that too is Gruden, although he had a bit of a rough run at the end with Washington, I know that a lot of people have been saying well, that's more Dan Snyder's fault than it really is Jay Gruden's, and he's actually still a pretty competent coach. I think will be good for the Jaguars, Shane, which will be something to look forward to, especially for you being a fan next season. First of all, how the team builds up both their offensive line and probably their defensive line as well within the draft and within free agency. That'll sort of build up a good cohesive unit for Gardner Minshew to play in. And I think that will kind of give Jaguars kind of a little bit of an idea of, okay, is Minshew our guy? Is he our quarterback? Because then you guys don't have to go back to the draft again.
I mean, from what I've seen, I've already started to see like mock drafts for the teams, and my team has like two picks in the first round, one at number 9, one at number like 20 or something.
Hmm.
And the thing that I find interesting, and I don't want this to happen, even though I'm sure those players are really great, they have them taking a safety and a cornerback at number 9 and then number 20 respectively.
Oh, I don't know about that. I
I
think you need more help at offense.
that
Your
was
team.
my personal thought. I'm like, number 9, let's get a good solid offensive tackle. Like if a really good solid offensive tackle or offensive guard is there, get him because we need a beef in our offensive line because we have none. Yes, linebacker is a need. Yes, safety is a need. Yes, cornerback is a need. Address that with number 20. I'm get number 9 with the number 9 pick, make it an offensive pick. The number 20 pick, make it a defensive pick.
Yep, definitely.
That's my thoughts at least.
Yeah, I think you're right. Um, and we'll just have to see how that goes.
But yeah, got a new
But
offensive coordinator, so it should be good for now. And then the other thing that we want to report, you go ahead with this one.
the second thing that we need to report is also another offensive coordinator who's been hired. The New York Giants are keeping Jason Garrett in the NFC East. He is now their offensive coordinator, which I think this has brought up a lot of mixed emotions for people because at this point I'm almost thinking, geez, why don't you just make Jason Garrett the head coach and make Joe Judge the offensive coordinator? But
I don't
again,
think
we're
the
not.
Giants want to deal with Mr. Clapp being seen constantly because, I mean, the primary focus is on the head coach rather than the offensive or defensive coordinator on screen.
Yeah, well, and Dave Gettleman makes weird decisions for the Giants, so I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see really how Jason Garrett fits out with the Giants, how he can, I guess you could say, cultivate Daniel Jones. Because I'll say one thing, Shane. I know that you're a little disappointed that Gardner Minshew hasn't received any recognition really for being Rookie of the Year, but you got to admit he turned out a lot better than Daniel Jones.
Yeah, but here, the crazy thing is Daniel Jones has been nominated for stuff, or at least for a while was talked about as a potential Rookie of the Year candidate over Gardner Minshew, who had better stats than overall stats than any other rookie quarterback. Not saying that like Kyler Murray did not do well. It's just Minshew had overall better stats with less time.
Right, and that makes sense. With Daniel Jones, I think more what his case will be is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he led the league in lost fumbles. So I think one thing that Jason Garrett will need to work with him on is like, Daniel Jones, you got to hold on to that ball, dude. You got to have better ball control. And so we'll just have to kind of see if, first of all, Jason Garrett can get a cohesive system working now as an offensive coordinator and not as a head coach, helping cultivate Daniel Jones and make him a better quarterback. And also, man, let's get Saquon Barkley's career back on track.
Yeah, had a amazing season in his first year, and then he hit that sophomore slump. Something that I've been noticing with good running backs lately is that they'll have a really solid like rookie year or first year. They'll hit that sophomore slump and they'll hit it hard, and then they usually bounce back after that sophomore slump.
Well, let's hope so because we're also there were two other sophomores this year that seemed like they were going to have really promising careers, and then based off their rookie seasons, and then they kind of fell off this year. I'm talking about Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. So
Oh yeah,
we'll just have
the
to see.
Mayfield train was that crashed hard and fast and was not pretty for anybody on board it.
Well, obviously they've made a bunch of changes within the Cleveland Browns staff. So, but anyway, that does it for our topic with the Giants. The next one, Shane, this is just one we should probably go over really quickly. This is just a rumor that's been floating around, but there is a rumor that Tom Brady will be signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. Shane, I'm just going to ask you this right now. True or false? Do you think this is bogus? Because I think it's bogus.
I think it's bogus. I do have two other rumors to throw out that I read right before we started this podcast as well.
Yeah.
But continue with the Brady thing unless we're done with it.
Well, I think that it could be interesting if Brady were to go to Las Vegas, because I mean he would definitely be the face of a franchise of a brand new team, and it would definitely bring in tickets for that new stadium in Vegas. But the thing is I keep having this sneaking suspicion that all this is just rumors, and truth be told, Tom Brady will probably not leave New England. That's just my opinion on it. But what were you going to say?
I mean, with the whole Brady thing, before we move on, I see your point. Like, in a business perspective, it would be a very smart move for the Raiders to get Tom Brady and to have him be there, because it would bring in the revenue, like you're saying. It would be a good way to open up that new stadium, establish new dominance in Vegas.
Well, and
How?
that's what they were hoping to do with Antonio Brown, and obviously that crashed and burned.
Yeah, that crashed hard. There's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff going on still with that, but this is
yeah, it's
about
true.
Brady right now. I think,
Yeah,
like I said, I think it'd be smart from a business perspective. However, I personally don't think that would be good for Brady or for the Raiders in the long run, unless you're literally having Brady there to help Derek Carr, help coach him up, help get him to be a better quarterback. But you do not necessarily want Brady to come in as a starter unless Carr is just doing that bad.
yeah. Which Carr's career and his standing as a starting quarterback has been called into question this season, but I don't think it's time just yet to hit the panic button and say, "Okay, we need a new quarterback."
Yeah, I mean, Derek Carr's shown really, really strong potential before, but he's also hit some really rocky spots. I would say that he's good, but he's a little inconsistent.
Yep, I think that's a good way of putting it.
Now, the other two rumors that I've heard today. So one is talk of Jimmy Graham retiring, the tight end for the Green Bay Packers. He was with the Saints for the longest time. He sent out like kind of like
Right?
a cryptic tweet saying that like he's been giving his all for like this amount of years while he's been chasing this ring, and he's always left it like the way that he like tweeted about it. A lot of people are starting to speculate that he may retire if he gets released pretty soon, because his contract ends after the 2020 season. So if the Packers
Mhm.
decide to part ways with him, he might just retire at that point.
Right.
The other rumor, and I was talking to my dad about this because my parents are big Chargers fans. Um, Philip Rivers recently moved from the California area, and he moved to Florida in St. Augustine area, which is a little south of Jacksonville. So there's speculation that he could be going to a Florida team. So that leaves either the Jaguars, the Dolphins, or the Buccaneers.
If it were my guess, Shane, I'd go with Tampa Bay because I think the Dolphins are going for Tua in the draft, and like you said, I think Jacksonville's sticking with Gardner Minshew, whereas Tampa Bay's not really so sure about Jameis Winston.
Yeah, and I was talking with my dad about it, and he's like, "What do you think about him going to Jaguars?" I'm like, "The Jaguars will not take him for the only reason we currently have Foles under contract. We are way over our salary cap. We're right now trying to cut people that we don't want to get rid of, that
Right?
and trade them. That way we can stay under the salary cap. Adding Rivers, having Rivers and Foles, like two fairly well paid quarterbacks along with what we have already, it would break our bank. There's no way that he's going to the Jaguars, in my opinion, unless something were to happen to Foles. I speculate that he would go to the Buccaneers, like you're saying, because Jameis Winston, ooh, that was. We talked about his stats before. They were not pretty.
Yeah. But we'll just have to wait and see. I bet you a lot of this will come to light once the Super Bowl has happened and the season is officially over.
Yeah, a lot more stuff will start to come to life.
But
Yes,
this
go ahead.
but this next thing is not a rumor. This is confirmed. And probably a lot of people who are listening in right now already know this, but Eli Manning, after 16 seasons, 2 Super Bowl rings, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, he won the Super Bowl twice with the New York Giants after coming in as the wild card seed, beating the New England Patriots, has
Twice.
announced retirement. Twice. He has announced his retirement.
So, the savior of the NFL who stopped the Patriots from winning 2 more rings, as a lot of people will say it, because a lot of people are like, Eli Manning's the savior of the NFL. He's the only one that can stop Brady in the Super Bowl. Well, him and apparently Nick Foles, but he has officially retired, making Daniel Jones, the heading into next season, the sophomore, the main go-to quarterback with really kind of a big question mark on who's behind him.
Yeah. I don't really want to address so much Daniel Jones in the future of the New York Giants, but more I think we do need to recognize Eli and his accomplishments. I understand that over the past few seasons, he really hasn't put up anything impressive. And that wasn't because, Eli sucks or anything like that. It's literally just because Father Time caught up with him. He got older. But there's going to be a lot of memorable moments that we will think about when it comes to the subject of Eli Manning. Whether that's in 2011 with that amazing throw to Mario Manningham, or even more infamous is that helmet catch in that game against the Patriots, their first time they played them in the Super Bowl.
Oh man, the helmet catch.
That just brings up the question, Shane, that I want to ask you. Do you think Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer?
Let me put it to you like this. No disrespect to Eli Manning. I do not think he is a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback.
Huh.
His brother Peyton, I do believe. Eli Manning, I would say he was never a bad quarterback, but I don't think he was elite level caliber like in the lights of like Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Tom Brady. Those I see them as elite caliber. I will not say that Eli is like bottom tier. I would say that he's below them though. I would say that he's like upper middle.
So maybe you're seeing it from my point of view, because let me put it to you this way. I agree with you. I don't think Eli is of the same caliber as Brady or Breeze or Rodgers or even his own brother Peyton. But he's better than, say, someone like Joe Flacco. So I think maybe to elaborate on this, he's not first ballot, but he should still be a Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
See, I'm not sure if he could because I personally feel like, and I can be very wrong, I feel like the seasons where the Giants did phenomenal, he had very good people around him. He had a strong offensive line, and for the longest time he had Victor Cruz, who was a unstoppable receiver, kind of in the lights of Randy Moss. Like I would see Victor Cruz going into the Hall of Fame. I can see Randy Moss going in the Hall of Fame if they're not already. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
Right, right.
But the main reason is I've seen, like, even in his earlier years when Eli was a little bit younger, I felt like a lot of times he threw the ball up and prayed that one of his elite caliber receivers came down with it, which usually happened for him. For
Yeah.
example, with the helmet catch, that was nothing but sheer and utter luck. Even
True.
even when he got OBJ, the thing that made OBJ famous was that infamous backwards, all the way laying down, one-handed catch behind his head. For the most part, most average receivers would not catch that.
Right. I
So,
would agree with
yes.
that.
So for me, it's like Eli Manning wasn't mobile like Lamar Jackson. He wasn't able to escape the pocket. He had to have a pocket. If you got through his pocket, he was terrible. So I feel like he was good. I wouldn't say that he is Hall of Fame and on the caliber as a lot of the people that have been or previously nominated or are currently in the Hall of
Mhm.
Fame.
Well, yeah. I'm trying. Well, 'cause here's the thing: is again, it's not up to us, and I feel like he will at least be considered when his time does come up for him to be eligible for the Hall of Fame. But we're really just going to have to wait and see if we will ever see another Manning inside Canton, besides Peyton.
I mean, one of their kids is probably going to come into the NFL and start playing, and everybody's going to love them. I'm
Uh,
being honest here.
well, again, that's another one. We'll just have to wait and see. No one can predict that.
Because, I mean, my whole thing with Eli, I feel like Eli was rated as high as he was for his family history. He had Archie as his dad, he had Peyton as his brother. Like, you have the Mannings, who are a strong family football name. How
Yeah.
could Eli not be considered that level caliber?
I mean, the only reason that I would want to say how could he not be considered that is, I mean, he still does However, he still has 2 Super Bowl rings.
That's true. He does have 2 Super Bowl rings, which we cannot take that away from him. My only thing is, like, I can't. Like I said, I don't think he's terrible and bad. I just don't think he's one of the greats that you would think of.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But I mean, at the same time, like, his family legacy could go either ways. It could either help him and project him forward to being a Hall of Famer, but it could also hurt him.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Anyway, I guess we talk about the future of Eli Manning because again, it's not like we're in charge of who gets into the Hall of Fame and who doesn't. But I think at this point, Shane, with what time we have, let's go into. Obviously, we need to get into the AFC and NFC championship games.
Do we want to do one other thing real quick of what other quarterbacks we think should retire this year?
I think we can probably leave that up to speculation. I think a lot of people have different opinions on other quarterbacks that should either stay or go in the league.
All right, sounds good. So, do you want to start with the AFC or the NFC?
Let's start with the AFC.
All right, Chiefs versus Titans. So, our predictions, I'll get those out of the way and then you can take over. You said 41-31 Kansas City Chiefs. I said 45-37 Kansas City Chiefs. Actual score 35-24 Chiefs.
Kansas City is going to the dance.
Oh yeah, it's been what since like 1960 or something?
The last time was 1969, 1970 was the last time the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl. They won it, have not been back since. And this will be the first time since 2004 that Andy Reid's been back in the Super Bowl, and maybe he'll actually win this time.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. I mean, let's get into the details of this game. What are you going to cover with this team going into when we were going over the game itself?
I think I'm just going to preface this to the people who are listening right now. Shane and I are not going to be talking about the Super Bowl really at all in this episode. That's going to be next week. Right now, a lot of what we'll be talking about are the championship games and a little bit about the Pro Bowl. So in this case, we won't really be talking about the matchup at all in the Super Bowl, and it will be more about just some different things in this game between both the team that advanced onto the Super Bowl and the team that lost. So the first thing that I want to cover, I'll just cover along with the Titans side before we move on to the Chiefs. And the first thing is, and this is open for discussion, is Shane, do you think the Titans should keep Ryan Tannehill this next year? Do you think they should go all in with him?
I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say no to seeing what he has done for them this season. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, I think it's hard because it's like, what choice do they really have at this point? I don't think they want to hang on to Mariota, obviously. And they're not in a good prime position to get to draft a quarterback. So my best guess at this point is if they don't want to hang on to Tannehill, their best bet is trying to woo someone like Tom Brady or Phillip Rivers or Cam Newton to Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting take. My thing is with Tannehill. So looking back to the season, the Titans were last in the AFC South for a while under Marcus Mariota. Tannehill comes in, is able to get them into the wild card for the playoffs, and gets them to fight past the Patriots, past who we thought at the time the unstoppable Baltimore Ravens. But then they ultimately lost out to the Kansas City Chiefs. Overall, I would say that he's good to hold on to for now, but I wouldn't give him a big lucrative contract to stick around.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Maybe give him like another 1-year deal or something like that.
Yeah, not the 4-year, $88 million that the Jaguars gave Foles.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy, that's right.
Well, and here's the thing. And here's the thing: is again, remember Ryan Tannehill is not the strength of the offense, and that's another thing that's coming up. Is also entering free agency is Derrick Henry, and that's the other thing that I want to bring up in the case of the Titans is: do you think there's any other team that would take him if the Titans are unable to hold on to him?
Here's the interesting thing about that. Derrick Henry was the life force of this Titans team this season.
Mhm.
Derrick Henry is also getting a little bit older, but he isn't showing complete signs of slowing down. In fact, he seems like he's speeding up. If anything, I would say the Titans, you would want to hold on to Henry. If not, I feel like there's going to be quite a few teams jumping for Henry.
I agree. And again, I can't imagine a scenario where the Titans wouldn't want to hold on to him. So I don't know. I think that pretty much is out of the question, but I guess you never know.
Yeah, I mean, like we've seen before, free agency can be wild, where teams
Yeah.
can constantly just either trade people away or drop probably their best player on their team and let them walk to get some random nobody to replace them.
Yeah. But that's kind of what we're seeing alongside with the Titans. In the case of the Chiefs, and this kind of pertains a little bit more to the game itself, one particular moment that I found to be kind of, I guess you could say, the highlight of the AFC Championship game was a moment where Patrick Mahomes took the ball, shook off several defenders, and ran in for, I think it was a 27-yard touchdown, did it all by himself, which is very impressive for a quarterback. Now, I understand that he's the defending MVP, but my question for you is, do you think Mahomes is an elite quarterback, similar to Drew Brees or Tom Brady or, all those other names we've mentioned?
I mean, from what we have seen of him from last season and this season, I think it's safe to say if he isn't an elite caliber quarterback, it's probably just because we want to see a couple extra seasons before we actually give him the title of elite quarterback.
And here's the reason why I don't necessarily want to give him that title just yet. And when I say this, you'll be like, oh, yeah, good point. Look at the weapons that guy has to throw to. You talk about Eli Manning having really good receivers. Look at who Mahomes has. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins. And he's got all these great running backs to give the ball to as well. I mean, it almost like, yes, I understand Mahomes is a good QB. He's got a good arm. Can make good reads. He can rush in and get these amazing touchdowns. But he has so many options at his disposal that it almost makes it too easy.
I mean, I definitely see your point. It does feel too easy. But I also think, and I mean this could be just players being good teammates. I think it was like Travis Kelsey or somebody when they said they're like, I love Patrick. He is so accurate with the ball that he knows exactly where to place it, where it is so easy for us to look good and get the ball and come down with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he does have those elite level receivers and tight ends and running backs. He has good weapons around him. But I think when you have a good weapons all around you at every position to throw to or to give the ball off to, and you yourself are a good weapon, it makes basically everybody look almost elite.
Yes. Well, on the offensive side of the ball,
Yeah.
yes, it's impressive that the Chiefs defense was able to hold back Derrick Henry after a while, but I still feel like that defense needs a little bit more work, especially when they're going to want to try and contain that run game that's going to be coming from the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
I mean, I definitely agree with you. I mean, Mahomes, whether being elite caliber or not, that's up for debate. And we'll talk more about the 49ers run game when we get to the 49ers side, but it's going to be a very interesting match when we get to the Super Bowl because it's two good teams, and it should hopefully not be the very boring, drawn out game that last year's Super Bowl was.
Oh my gosh, no kidding.
That was horrible. That was a terrible Super Bowl. I'd rather watch it was the Rams and Chiefs game actually. That was like an amazing game. I would have wanted that for our Super Bowl, not what we got.
I understand that last year's Super Bowl was a defensive game, and yes, good defense is a good thing, and it wins championships. And I know, and I understand we've been, you mentioned the Chiefs and the Rams game. We've kind of been brainwashed as a society to watch these high offense games, but I mean, come on, it's the Super Bowl. We got to have something a little bit more interesting than what was it, 13-3.
Something like that. And I think the saddest part was, for the most part, we watched the Rams play own 20 yard within their own 20-yard line most of the game. Like, they basically went nowhere, and I think that's what made it boring, is that for the most part, until like a little after halftime, both teams literally just sat at one spot for the entire game until one defense literally just like fell over from exhaustion, and the Patriots just kind of ran over them.
Pretty much. But here's the silver lining, Shane, is we're not I don't understand how we could have that this year. Because Patrick Mahomes and his offense, they're going to find a way to get past that dominant 49ers defense. They're going to find some way to get past that. Whether that, and I don't care. I mean, I understand that, the 49ers have, because 49ers fans might be like, oh, are you sure about that? We got Nick Bosa, we got Dee Ford, we got Richard Sherman, But no. I still think that the Chiefs offense is going to find a way past that. And all the same, Jimmy Garoppolo and all those runners for the 49ers, they're going to find a way to get past that Chiefs defense.
I mean, the way I see it, the Chiefs defense isn't the issue. Going into this game, it's going to be the Chiefs offense versus the 49ers defense, and what I think it will be interesting, and we're not going to cover this too much, because like we said, Super Bowl's next week. Don't get too excited. But, it's going to be, the Chiefs are going to find a way around the 49ers defense, and then the 49ers defense is going to adjust and stop the Chiefs offense and start pushing back. And it's just, I feel like it's going to be going back and forth with constant adjusting to stop whatever new thing that they're trying out and trying to do to win.
Isn't it amazing that we're going to be seeing that? I feel like it's just going to be a lot more fun to watch the innovation that Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan both have for their teams. I think it's going to be a lot more interesting than whatever Bill Belichick and Sean McVay were doing last year.
Yeah, that was... Let's not talk about last year. Do we have anything else we want to cover from the AFC Championship game between the Chiefs and the Titans, or say what the Chiefs have going into the Super Bowl in February 2nd?
I got nothing. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover?
I have nothing, so let's move on to the NFC side.
All right. This obviously was a little bit more of the how do I put this? I thought this was going to be more of an interesting game. I was wrong.
Yep. I mean, gosh, dang it! Sorry, I looked at our score predictions. So you said 34-17 49ers. I said 31-20 49ers. Final score is 34-20 49ers.
We got something right together.
You know what? Hold on. Let's back up for a moment. If we take your 49ers score and we take my Packers score, we completely nailed this prediction.
Yep.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna say that's probably the best we're gonna get. That's a satisfying victory for me, all of its own. The final score of that game was 37-20.
34-20.
Oh. Well, something has it written wrong then. Go ahead, continue.
No, remember 37-8 was the score for the first time that they met. 34-20 was the score for.
No, it was 37-20.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I messed up.
It's all good. I was like, oh, well, that's weird because NFL.com got it wrong then. That's going to be really awkward. But I double checked, so it was 37-20. Gosh, never mind. We were a little bit off. But we were still really close.
Okay, yeah, exactly. It was very, very close. But I think the point of it all is we saw what we predicted to happen, Shane, is exactly what happened. The Packers defense did not contain the 49ers offense, and the 49ers defense contained Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, oh, I'm trying to... Great, now I need to pull something else up real quick. Give me 1 second.
While you're talking about it, I think... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm like, for the longest time, the score was bad for the Packers. Like, it looked like it was going to be like what it was from the earlier in the season, where it was like, what was it, like 28 to like 3 or 7 or something?
The final score for the first time was 37-8.
So it looked like it was going to be like that because at the end of the third quarter, it was 49ers leading 34-7. That fourth quarter made the Packers seem somewhat decent, but not good enough to win.
Well, and here's where I just want to go with a little bit talking about this game. It's kind. I find this kind of funny in my opinion, but the 49ers, if they win Super Bowl 54, then they will have won 6 Super Bowl rings. That ties in with the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Jimmy Garoppolo, I just find this really funny. He completed only I think it was 6, maybe 8 passes in the whole game. The rest of the time he handed the ball off to running backs.
He attempted 8 passes, completed 6 for 77 yards.
Yep.
So, here's the funny thing. So, the running back who basically carried the 49ers this day was Raheem Mostert. He had 29 carries for 220 yards, 4 touchdowns. The Packers defense literally gave up 4 touchdowns in a game that it was literally a run play 85 to 90% of the time throughout this game.
Obviously, the fault in losing this NFC Championship game on the Packers side goes to the defense. I don't know why they could never figure out, okay, they're always running the ball. Let's stop that. I don't know how they figured it out, but at the same time, this leads me into my next part, Shane. Aaron Rodgers is 1-4 in NFC Championship games, and the only reason I feel like he has only 1 win, he was playing the Chicago Bears, who had Jay Cutler as their quarterback. all the other times he played. Sorry, name left me. Russell Wilson in the Seahawks in Seattle, then plays Matt Ryan in the Falcons in Atlanta, and now playing Jimmy Garoppolo in the 49ers in Levi Stadium. My question for you here, because Aaron Rodgers couldn't really get much going in this game. Is Aaron Rodgers, just like Drew Brees, really talented elite quarterback, can throw for over 5,000 yards, but when it comes time for the postseason, he fizzles out?
So you're wondering, does Rodgers choke in the NFC Championship game?
I don't want to say choke. I really don't. Because I don't even
But he fizzles out, I would say. He has this amazing fire, and then the fire just kind of slowly dies in that championship game.
Essentially, he's good. What I'm saying is he's good, but he's not as good as everyone is saying. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's not Rodgers' fault. It's his team's fault. It has a team that he's built around him. Yes, I understand that. Aaron Rodgers always has to carry his dang team. He's not Tom Brady, who is able to just have a lot of good team players around him. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a Rob Gronkowski. He doesn't have a Julian Edelman.
I mean, I'm even going to want to throw this out to our fans. It's like, is Rodgers and Drew Brees, do they fizzle out in the NFC Championship games? I mean, you make a very interesting point because we do see Rodgers as this elite, high-level, high-caliber quarterback, but he's 1-4 in the NFC Championship?
Exactly. He's only been to the Super Bowl once, and he's not getting any younger. He turns 37 later this year. He's getting up there in age, just like Brady's 42, but guess what? Brady has 6 rings. Rodgers has 1. Drew Brees is in his 40s? Drew Brees only has 1 ring too. Now, granted, I understand and I feel like the Saints are cursed when it comes to the postseason, whether it's a Minneapolis Miracle or pass interference call or overtime getting the best of them. But again, it's just sort of this thing where it's just like Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, they are not getting any younger, and still both of them only have one Super Bowl ring. You want to know who? You want to know which quarterback that is currently competing for another Super Bowl ring that already has 2 Super Bowl rings? Jimmy Garoppolo.
I mean, can we? I mean, he did help out with one of the games. I was gonna say, I think for one of those rings, he kind of was just on the team and just there.
For both of them with the Patriots? Oh, yeah. But here's the thing, is I'm just almost saying, like, is it just bad luck in the case of Aaron Rodgers and in the case of Drew Brees?
So you make an interesting point. I will say Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints, they are stuck with bad luck. Like, there is some bad luck down in Louisiana. Whatever's going on there, it is cursing them and it is bad. As for
some bad Juju Smith-Schuster, some bad Juju.
But as for the kids of the Green Bay Packers, I don't think that they are cursed necessarily like we think the Saints are. I think it's literally just the Packers fall apart.
I mean, yeah, I don't really see any other explanation for it. I mean, they go in as a wild card in the year where they won the Super Bowl, and yeah, they get past the Bears in the NFC Championship game, and that's where they go ahead to win the Super Bowl, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. But ever since then, it's either Rodgers has to pick up the team and carry them on his shoulders for most of the season, but then runs out of gas when it comes time for the postseason, or what happens is they don't make the postseason at all. I mean, this year was, it ended the 2-year drought that the Packers had of not going to the playoffs. But then as soon as they come back, we're thinking, oh, the Packers have returned. They're making all these ugly wins, but hey, it got them to the NFC Championship game. And then they play, their old friends, the San Francisco 49ers, who drubbed them in the regular season. And then guess what happens in the NFC Championship game? They don't learn their lesson, and they still get drubbed in primetime in the playoffs, and they lose out on an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl and get a second ring for Aaron Rodgers. It's a little, it has me shaking my head.
Yeah. And we do have some people commenting. So my parents and Duckmaster is here. My parents are saying that they think that Aaron Rodgers went in with a chip on his shoulder because the 49ers did not draft him. And so it was even funny because if you look back to when that day happened, it's been a meme all week just been kind of spreading around. It's that, like, Aaron Rodgers saying, oh, the 49ers going to regret not picking me. They know that they should have picked me, and they're going to miss out, and they're going to regret it.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers aren't regretting it right now because they literally just beat Rodgers and the Packers and are in the Super Bowl right now without him.
Granted, their quarterback only threw 8 passes and completed 6 of them, but,
Let's leave that to the side.
Yeah.
The important thing is they're in the Super Bowl now, and Duckmaster is saying that the reason the Packers lost is solely on their defense. It is completely their defense's fault, which we agree.
We mentioned that at the very beginning. This one was on the defense, but that's sort of this thing where I'm just saying, like, what can Aaron Rodgers do at this point? He's running out of opportunities to try and win another Super Bowl ring. Does he need to take a pay cut so they can sign better defensive players? I don't know.
Maybe take a pay cut, or maybe go to a different team like the New England Patriots.
Yikes. Belichick and Rodgers?
Belichick with Rodgers. So, because no offense to Tom Brady. Tom Brady was really, really good. However, this season, I also felt it a little bit last season. He was slowing down. Father Time caught up with him very fast and hit him very hard. I mean, even if Rodgers is only there for like 3 or 4 seasons, I think the Patriots would actually really like that because they get basically another version of Tom Brady who's still doing well, and then they have their elite caliber defense, they have their strong offensive weapons. Like, I feel like, honestly, if Rodgers went to the Patriots to replace Brady, it would become a nightmare of a New England Patriots domination all over again.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just and I know some people have speculated about, what if Rodgers were to become a Patriot? I don't see it happening. But again, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree. I don't see it happening, but it'd be a crazy what-if scenario.
Yeah. I think, before we go on to our Pro Bowl and to our For the Fun topic for this week, Shane, because I think we've covered everything.
Yeah.
like we've left the conversation open. We've discussed it. We haven't really figured out what the answer is as to why these Packers cannot get back to the Super Bowl. It's still kind of up in the air as far as whether you blame coaching staff or the defense or Aaron Rodgers himself. We really won't be able to answer that question unless the Packers do go back to the Super Bowl.
Because once they go back to the Super Bowl, we'll have an answer of what was going on.
But I think in this case, going into, the Niners are going into the Super Bowl. I just phrase this one question, and we'll just answer it really quickly because, again, it's talking about the Super Bowl, and we don't want to really get into that too much. But in the case of Jimmy Garoppolo, who really didn't do all that much in this game, you talked about, you once said it yourself, the Super Bowl MVP award is a quarterback award. They ain't giving that award to Jimmy Garoppolo if the 49ers win the Super Bowl. I can't see it happening.
I will say if he played the way he did against the Packers.
Exactly, which, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they might maybe even try and employ the same strategy. But who do you think would win the Super Bowl MVP if the Niners were to win the Super Bowl?
And I've talked to you about this before, if it is a close game, it's going to come down, so if the 49ers win and it's a close game, it's going to come down to who made the biggest play that assured their win.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like how we were talking about Mostert. And Mostert has the game that he did against the Packers that he had against the Packers going against the Chiefs. I think obviously that he deserves that MVP award.
I think, and I agree with you. I feel like if it's very much a back and forth offensive game and he does something like that, then obviously the award would go to him. The only thing that I think would change that is, let's say that the 49ers defense can consistently stop the Kansas City offense. At that point, the award should go to a defensive player, whether that's Bosa or Ford or Sherman or any of those other players. That would fall.
My bet, if it was a defensive player, would probably be for Sherman. He would probably get an interception, or he would block a very critical pass. If not Sherman, I might risk it and say Bosa, because I feel like Bosa's would come in, sack Mahomes, and either win the game with the sack, or in the process of the sack, causes a fumble, and then somebody recovers that fumble from the 49ers side.
Yeah, I can see that. And that's one thing that the 49ers are very good at, is sacking. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see on February 2nd.
But let's move on to the Pro Bowl, which we can cover very, very shortly because we are getting close on time, and we still have some fun things that we want to do. Pro Bowl, let's start with predictions. Are you with the AFC or with the NFC?
I'm going to go with the AFC.
Oof. I'm going with you because I honestly thought you were going to pick the NFC.
Yeah, sorry. I got the AFC on this one. Let's just say a score is 24-10.
With the Pro Bowl, they are going to try out a few new rules, and that could be interesting because I don't know exactly what the few new rules that they're going to try out are.
Isn't it something like instead of doing kickoffs, they're doing onside kicks or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with they're going to adjust how onside kick works. But knowing the Pro Bowl is more of a relaxing, have fun, enjoy yourself. I feel like it's a higher scoring game just because no one's really doing too much. So I'm going to say the final score is going to be 42-35.
See, I don't really see that high of a score coming out of the Pro Bowl because I feel like just generally they don't care all that much. These players are just like, okay, whatever. And that brings me to this one question is, do people feel like the Pro Bowl is exciting? Because in my opinion, I feel like the Pro Bowl gets lost in all the hype of the upcoming Super Bowl. You don't have the best players going to play in the Pro Bowl because they're getting ready for the Super Bowl. And because it's so close to that time. So that's the issue that I take with that. That's one thing. And I know this is a different compare. It's like comparing apples and oranges, but I'm going to use the comparison of All-Star Weekend for the NBA. That is in the mid-season for the NBA. And that, I feel like, yes, okay, no defense is played during the All-Star game. It is all offense. But I feel like because it's not overshadowed by the NBA Finals, because it's earlier in the season, whereas the Pro Bowl is overshadowed by the Super Bowl, it makes it a little bit more captivating, and I feel like players try a little bit harder.
So, real quick, before I continue with what you were saying, Doug Master did chime in, and he says, instead of onside kicks, teams can try 4th and 15 from their own 25, is what he thinks.
Right, and he did mention, too, that they're trying it out probably for safety reasons, and that is why, is because there is a risk, of course, from these kickoffs where, players are running at each other full steam.
Yeah, especially with onside kicks. Onside kicks can be very dangerous. However, going back to what we were talking about with the Pro Bowl, with how, like, in the NBA they do it mid-season, whereas Pro Bowl, we get a week before the Super Bowl. Here, one thing that I have liked with the Pro Bowl, and one thing that they started doing in the last couple of years, they started having, like, all these games and events, like the quarterback passing challenge, the wide receiver catching challenge with the quarterback, and then they have, like, all these different, like, challenges in games. They have, like, dodgeball, and I think they have tug of war even. That is honestly...
They have a flag football thing, too, which the NBA has that as well. They have the dunk contest. They have the skills challenge. And I know, again, I'm using the NBA as a comparison, but what I'm essentially asking you, Shane, is prove me wrong here. Say that the Pro Bowl is fun, because here I'm like, I'm not even going to watch the Pro Bowl. I'll watch All-Star Weekend, but I'm not even going to watch the Pro Bowl.
Here's the thing. So, the week leading up to the Pro Bowl with all those different games and activity, I honestly think it's super fun and super cool to watch, especially if you get, like, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, where it's literally, like, some of the AFC players are going over to the NFC players and just trash-talking them and just making fun of them and teasing each other. I think that's fun because you get to see, like, their more human side rather than just, like, this sports idol athlete on the field. You get to see, like, their more personable, more fun, joking side. As for the Pro Bowl itself, it can be a little bit boring because of what you said. It's right before the Super Bowl. We don't feel like many people care. I think it would be more interesting if they swap the dates of the Super Bowl and Pro Bowl. They have the Pro Bowl right after the Super Bowl. That way you have, like, all this really, like, hype game, season's over, and it's more relaxing, have fun, and enjoy watching some of the best in the game right now and seeing all the different activities that they have throughout the week.
Yeah, I could see the appeal behind that. Why don't we leave that as sort of our poll for this week, Shane? I know we had another question in mind, but let's leave that as our poll for this week. Do you think the Pro Bowl is exciting? And why?
Okay.
And then it's time for the Fun. This is going to be good.
Oh, boy. All right. So let's go ahead and give me a few moments. I'm just typing this up, letting everybody have it written out there.
I'll do a little bit of an explanation while Shane is doing that. What we're doing for our For the Fun topic this week is something that Shane and I are kind of doing to challenge each other, but at the same time, this is open to you, the viewers, whether it's through YouTube or through Twitch. This is an opportunity for us to kind of test our knowledge. So Shane and I have compiled our own NFL trivia questions that we're going to quiz each other on. And so I think how we're going to do this is one of us will ask a question, we'll give the other an opportunity to respond. And for those of you who know the answer, of course, put it in the chat bar. Shane, I think you and I should make the rule that we don't look at the chat bar, so we don't technically cheat.
Will do.
Yeah, and then we'll just kind of leave it at that point. If one of us gets stumped, which I feel like could definitely happen, I'm hoping I stump you with some of my questions.
Oh, I'm going to get stumped.
And I feel like you'll probably stump me with your questions. And again, this is just kind of an opportunity for okay, let's see what you came up with.
Yeah, I mean, so I did find that one that we were talking about earlier. And this is just like an example, and this is probably like one of the hardest ones I've found, because I got a book for Christmas with football questions. So I do want to see if you or any of the fans watching can guess this. I won't count this as anything against you, okay?
Okay, all right.
All right. Born on Christmas Day, 1946. This 5-time Pro Bowl fullback was named the MVP of Super Bowl 8. What's his name?
I don't know.
I told you, this is probably like the hard. I spent like a good 30 to 40 minutes just skimming through this book. I think this was like the hardest one that I could find.
Questions aren't that hard. Jeez.
So, it's Larry. I can't even say his last name. Is Sonka? Larry Sonka? Is C?
The Miami Dolphins.
I think so.
Yep.
But yeah. That's like some of the examples for like questions, because like I think we plan on doing this like even further down the road, like where occasionally like if the channel grows big enough, we could even like do a giveaway, and if whoever gets like the question right, and I mean it's gonna be kind of hard just because like Google's a thing, so
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We may not, but like just in, like in the future, like we'll be like, hey, here's a question, like you'll get brownie points, or we'll highlight you during our stream or during our podcast for the week. That could actually be something pretty good.
For sure. Then you mind if I share with you my first question?
Oh boy, go for it. I am terrified.
Okay. So the question in itself is, which all-time NFL running back has the most yards in their career? And I will give you bonus points if you can name the top 5 running backs
Psh,
as far as yards that they've had.
screw the top 5. Is this of all time?
Yeah, this is all-time.
Oh.
It's not top 5 of this season. It is
Yeah.
all. Which running back has the most yards ever gained in their career for the NFL?
Which running back has the most yards ever? I'm trying to think, because I'm like, I think of like more recent people, and I'm like, no, it's probably not them.
It's not. It's a player from the 90s.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be stumped on that one. I have no idea.
Hey, you want me to read them off to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the running back who currently holds the 5th spot is Adrian Peterson, still playing, who has 14,216 yards.
He was one that I was thinking. That was like one where I was like, I don't think he's number 1, but he has played for a long time.
Yep, he is number 5. Number 4 is Barry Sanders with 15,269 yards.
I would see Sanders that's like a number 2, honestly.
Well, here's the thing: is he was number 3, but then just this season, number 3, Frank Gore of the Buffalo Bills passed him up for 15,047 yards.
Yep.
And then the last 2 will coming up. You'll kind of be like, oh, duh. Number 2 is Walter Payton with 16,726 yards.
Isn't wait? So I remember seeing a meme now. Once you said Frank Gore, I remember like a podium. Isn't the last one like Emmitt Smith or something?
It is Emmitt Smith with 18,355.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely got that wrong. I will say I got that wrong. I didn't get anything until you like started to list the names. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to narrow it down a little bit.
Yes, yeah. So technically you didn't get like the first 4, but hey, you sort of figured out who the number 1 was.
That's true. Okay.
All right.
So this one's for you and for the fans watching. I'm trying to find it again. Oh yeah, this was like super easy. So the first one I did like super easy. What 2 teams did Brett Favre play for other than the Packers?
Oh, the Minnesota Vikings and I want to say it's the Miami Dolphins, but it's not. Who? What's the second one?
I want to see if any of our fans chime in with an answer for the second one before I give it to you. You are right with the Minnesota Vikings. Because that was right after he retired and came back and was with the like he retired from the Packers and then decided he wanted to come out and started with the Vikings.
Right.
But I'm gonna give the fans like another like 5 seconds, see if they have like a guess or anything. Cause I mean, when I was looking at this, I was like, okay, Minnesota Vikings, like that one's easy. The second team though, I was like, I don't think I actually 100% knew that, but I think it was like in the back of my head somewhere.
I have a guess, but I'm not going to say it until I find out what the answer is.
All right. So nobody answered in yet, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give you the answer. It is the New York Jets.
Oh, I thought it was the Chargers. That was my second guess,
Oh,
but the Jets. Okay.
my parents did chime in right before I said it, and they did say the Jets, so my parents did get that one right.
All right. Yeah, okay, good to know.
Yeah. All right. What's your second question?
Which NFL quarterback threw 6 touchdowns in a Super Bowl?
6 touchdowns in a Super Bowl? Oh. I feel like there's an obvious answer here. Oh. I'm telling you, I am like bad when it comes to players specifically. If I had to guess, I'm just going to guess 3 because those are like the only 3 that I can think of. I'm going to say Dan Marino,
Wrong.
Steve Young.
Ding, ding, ding. That's it.
Whoo! Whoo, boy. Whoo, boy. Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, wait, no, not Drew Brees. Maybe not Tom. Maybe not Tom. I was like, Steve Young. I'm like, Steve Young seems like he could do that because he was good.
Yep. All right, let's go through. What you got for me next?
All right. Whoop, had my book upside down. Let's see here. Sorry, I have to like look and see what the answer was in order to get it exactly.
Right. Oh,
yeah. Okay, I got it here. So, this is the only NFL franchise to feature the team's logo on only one side of the helmet.
I want to say the Patriots, but that's not it.
It is not it. And I will say, someone in chat has gotten this right.
Is it the Steelers?
It's the Steelers.
Yes!
Yeah, Duckmaster chimed in like right after I said it. He's like, "That's my Steelers." I'm like, he knows his team. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, that makes me happy. I got that one. Okay. My next question. Which NFL team is the only team in the Super Bowl era to have a perfect undefeated season? And bonus points if you know which year.
Fetch. Oh. Because here's the thing. I think of the team, and I'm like, wait, they lost one like right at the very end.
Don't go looking in the chat bar, but Duckmaster got it.
Gosh, dang it. Oh.
I'm at it. I'm at it. Still don't go look at the bar, but Duckmaster, can you tell me which team almost went undefeated, but then lost the Super Bowl?
The only team that I think that went undefeated and won was the Miami Dolphins?
That's it.
Okay, I was like, I think they're, because I was thinking like the Patriots, and I know the Patriots went like undefeated and lost one. And the other one that came close was the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. Yes, that is true.
Oh, wow, my parents and Duckmaster got Dolphins right.
It was the 1972 Dolphins.
Okay. Alright, are you ready for your next question?
I am. Let's do this.
Okay. Alright, just getting to it right now. I keep holding the book upside down, which does not help me at all.
Unless you can read upside down.
Alright, so let's see here. Oh, okay. Alright. The only shutout in AFC Championship game history occurred when the New York Jets were whitewashed 14-0 by what team? And I'll give you bonus points for the year as well.
Oh. I would not know this one. Steelers?
It is not the Steelers.
Okay. Well, I'll take one more guess, and then I'll think of one more, and then if I get it wrong, you'll have to tell me.
All right.
Uh,
1980.
Not the Broncos?
It is not the Broncos, and Duckmaster, it is not the Patriots. I'm gonna give Duckmaster one more chance because I feel like the wheels are turning, and I'm gonna see my parents chime in as well. Do you want to take one more guess as well?
Yeah, I'll take one more.
I'll give everybody a hint. The year that this happened was 1983.
Redskins.
It was not the Redskins.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
I'm gonna give them like another 5 seconds, see if they can think of any team.
Oh, I'm going to be mad if it's this other one that I'm thinking of.
It is not the Chargers, mom and dad.
A final guess by me. I promise I won't make any more after this.
All right.
Raiders.
It is not the Raiders.
Ugh!
Was that the other team you were thinking of? I feel like everybody's gonna kit themselves for this because so the answer is the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, come on!
That's why I was laughing because I was like, we were just talking about
83.
what team went
Dan
undefeated.
Marino. 83. Dan Marino. Oh, man.
Yeah, I was like, this is Dan Marino with the Miami Dolphins. They went undefeated, and they shut out the Jets 14-0.
Oh, okay. I feel dumb after that one.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this one?
That one was just perfect timing because I'm just going in the order I had these.
That's funny. Okay. You ready for the next one?
Oh no, but I'll take it.
Okay. Where was the Ice Bowl played, and what popular beverage was reported to have frozen solid during the game due to the freezing cold temperature?
Where was the ice? I think I saw this. Oh. It's not Lambeau, is it?
It is Lambeau.
Oh, Lambeau! What
But what
popular
beverage,
drink was
though?
frozen?
Yep.
I mean, if I had
I'll
to
tell
guess...
Doug Master said beer. It's not beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking beer as well. Wait, Wisconsin, they're weird. Sorry, I was like, did they have like a cheese drink or something? I'm like, no, that's too weird even for them.
No.
That's why I was like, that's too weird even for them. What popular drink? I'm trying to think. Lemonade? Coke?
Oh.
I'm not gonna know the drink.
Anyone else from the fans?
I'm still trying to think of the drink froze?
It froze solid. Are you ready? The answer will surprise you.
Wait. I'm gonna say hot chocolate.
Oh, so it was coffee.
Dang it!
It was coffee. It was so cold that the coffee froze solid. The reporter reported, he's like, my coffee has frozen solid. That's how nasty the Ice Bowl was.
That's pretty brutal. I mean, you and me, we lived in Canada for a while, so we know how cold it can get, because we can take a pot of boiling hot water, throw it outside in, like, -40, and it'll disappear before it hits the ground.
Yep. All right, speed it up again. What's the next question?
All right. Oh, this one. Did Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath throw more touchdown passes or interceptions in his career? You have a 50-50.
More interceptions. I know he's a Hall of Famer, but it was more interceptions.
Okay, I'm going to see if anybody chimes in with it. Do you know how many touchdowns or interceptions he threw?
I do not. I'm throwing a ballpark and saying like 57, but
57 touchdowns or interceptions?
Interceptions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to. When you talk about like, so many interceptions, again, for some reason my mind automatically went to baseball, thinking Babe Ruth, he's made so many home runs, but he's also hit more strikeouts than any other player in the MLB.
It's true. So my parents also guessed the correct answer is interception. So both you and my parents got it right. He threw 220 interceptions with 173 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a 47 difference between the two.
Jameis Winston would be proud.
Maybe that's Jameis Winston's role model. He's trying to beat his record.
Maybe. Okay, my next question. Which NFL team has the highest number of wins? Also, with that, which NFL team has the greatest winning percentage? That's wins, loss, and draws included.
Of all time?
Of all time.
See, that's hard because now I'm trying to think. I'm like, well, some teams were like there from the beginning, like the Browns, and then some teams came in 2002, like the Texans.
So what team, starting right now, has the greatest amount of wins?
I feel like this is an easy answer, but I feel like it's wrong. I'm going to say the Patriots.
Wrong.
Yeah, I saw that coming. Let's see, the Browns have sucked for a while.
I will give you a hint as far. This team was formed in 1919. The one that has the greatest amount of wins.
1919? Oh,
yep.
Wow, that is old. Wow, my parents are rude. They said the Jaguars. That's just rude.
Buckmaster, it is not the 49ers.
Let's see. In 1919, you said?
Yep, but since you're not looking at the chat bar, I will say your parents did guess the correct team as far as the team that has the greatest winning percentage. They are not the team that has the highest number of wins.
The Cowboys?
Cowboys have the greatest winning percentage.
Man, screw the Cowboys! Gosh dang it! They always disappoint me. The one time I needed them, they don't come to my mind. And then greatest number of wins total as well?
Yeah, so the Dallas Cowboys have 512 wins, 380 losses, and 6 draws, making their percentage .573. This other team, their winning percentage is .564, so it's not quite there, but the overall amount of wins is 761 for this football team.
I feel like that's the Cleveland Browns, because I feel like the Cleveland Browns are like the oldest team in existence.
It is not.
Ooh. Green Bay Packers?
Nope.
Mother of pearl.
You give up?
Yeah.
The Bears.
Wow. Okay. Since we're playing this way, either the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Carolina Panthers are the only team in NFL history to win the first game of their season and proceed to lose the remaining 15. Which one?
Between the two?
Yeah.
Panthers.
Do you know what year?
2002?
You were so close. It's 2001, but yes.
Dang. Okay.
All right. Do you have another one for me? Because I think I got one more for you.
Okay. I actually still have a few more. But,
okay, we can do a few more.
I can go through them really quickly because I know we're running out of time. So the next question for you, you can probably answer this one really quickly. Which NFL teams have never made it to the Super Bowl? There are 4.
The Jaguars, the Texans.
Yep.
Who are the other two? Who are the other two that we're in a happy little time with?
0-16.
The Brown? No.
Yep, the Browns are in there.
Wait, the Browns have never been to a Super Bowl?
Never been to a Super Bowl.
Oh.
One other team, also 0-16 at one point.
I mean, the Dolphins have been to a Super Bowl. Detroit Lions.
Yep, the Lions. Yep. Duckmaster got all 4, and he did it.
Ooh, nice. So, this one... So, I kind of given you the answer before, and I've even said it in a podcast before. So, the youngest team to ever make it to the NFL playoffs was the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
In what season did they make it to the playoffs? I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm going to double check.
I want to say 2007, but that's just a guess.
No, it is way earlier than that.
Figured that.
Their first playoff appearance.
2002.
No.
And still earlier.
It's earlier. Yeah.
I don't know. My last guess would be 1999, but I don't know.
Yeah. So they went in the championships in their first one, 1998.
Okay,
So
hey,
third season as a team.
Right.
And I think they beat either the Dolphins or the Jets in their first playoff game 52-17. I think it was the Dolphins. They beat 52-17 in their first playoff game.
Hey. That's news to me, so I guess it's good to know. All right. Next question along the lines of the Super Bowl. Which city has hosted the most Super Bowls? And also which city has hosted the second most, and which city has hosted the third most?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be rough. Cause I always forget where the Super Bowl's played, because I mainly just pay attention to the Super Bowl itself instead of where it's played. I feel like one of the big ones is Miami.
That's number one.
Yeah, because I was like, they're going to Miami this season.
Miami is where it is played the most.
I mean, it made sense, honestly. It's also where they're having the Pro Bowl a lot. Where they played it the second most?
And where did they play it the third most?
Oh. I feel like Hawaii is up there.
Never go to Hawaii.
Okay, I'm thinking of Pro Bowl then, of the earlier years. They went to Pro Bowl in Hawaii a lot.
Yeah.
Is one of them in California?
Yes.
Oh. San Francisco?
No, L.A.
It is
And
LA?
yeah, that's the third most, and Duckmaster got the other one. New Orleans is the second most.
Oh, nice. Nice, Duckmaster. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, this one. He's the only player to be named the NFL's MVP in 3 consecutive seasons. I'm not going to say the year. I want to see if you can also get the year as well.
Okay. So repeat that one more time.
The only player to be named the NFL's MVP in 3 consecutive seasons.
Montana?
It is not Joe Montana. It is not Brady either, Duckmaster.
Yeah, I didn't think it was Tom Brady. It's not Terry Bradshaw, right?
It is not Terry Bradshaw.
Give me this. Is it a quarterback?
It is a quarterback. I will give you that. I told you, the MVP is a quarterback award, and this proves it.
Dan Marino.
It's not Dan Marino.
Come on. Roger Staubach.
Nope.
Troy Aikman.
Nope.
I'm throwing you down now.
Do you give up?
Yeah, I give up.
It is Brett Favre.
Oh. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah. Do you know the year? The year he won it. The years I will say were 95 to 97.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. This will sort of be my second to last question. I only got one more after this.
All right.
But this has 3 things that goes with it. So the first question is I'll just name this off, and then if you don't know, then we'll kind of move on to the next one. So who is the Super Bowl trophy named after?
Vince Lombardi.
Which team is Vince Lombardi affiliated with?
Oh, I read this earlier, and
Masters got it.
Gosh dang it! Was it? It's not the Dolphins. That's Dan Marino's notorious with the Dolphins. Who has big lineage? It's not the Bears.
No, it's not.
It's not the Steelers. I'm trying to think of like teams who have been known to have good quarterbacks. 49ers had
Well, Vince Lombardi's not a quarterback.
Oh, what was he, a running back?
He's a coach. Come on, man.
Dude, today is not my day. Um, Good coaches then. The Packers?
You got it.
Gosh. Why am I thinking he's a quarterback?
All right, and then moving on, this gets a little tougher. Who are the AFC and NFC trophies named after, and which team is that person affiliated with?
Okay, I'm just gonna throw in the towel on that one. I have zero idea.
If I give you the name, could you guess the teams?
Possibly.
For the AFC, it's Lamar Hunt, the Lamar Hunt Trophy. For the NFC, it's the George Halas Trophy.
Oh gosh. Okay, the George Halas. I want to say it's the Chicago Bears.
It is.
Okay, there's one AFC. It was something Hunt, right?
Lamar Hunt.
Lamar Hunt. Is it the Steelers?
It is not.
Oh. The Dolphins, maybe?
It is not.
I don't know the AFC side then.
I'll tell you this. The Lamar Hunt Trophy went to the team this year that Lamar Hunt is based from, that he's affiliated with.
Yeah, still don't know.
I just told you.
Oh, Miami?
The Lamar Hunt Trophy, the AFC Championship Trophy, the Lamar Hunt Trophy went to the team this year that Lamar Hunt is from. It was raised by his own son at the AFC Championship this year.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
My goodness. Okay. Wow. That completely blew over my head because I was not thinking Kareem Hunt. I have one last question for you, okay?
And then I got one more for you, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right. True or false? Andrew Luck holds the NFL rookie record for most touchdown passes in a season with 27.
True.
False.
False. Okay.
Do you know who has it?
Peyton Manning.
Nope. I'll give you one more guess, and then we can wrap this up.
Okay. More modern, right?
Yes. So, Duckmaster, it is false, but it is not the quarterback you're thinking of.
I don't know. The only other... Yeah, okay, I have two that are coming to mind, and they both sound rather ridiculous, but...
Let's hear them.
Tom Brady, Matt Stafford.
No and no. The person who holds the record is Baker Mayfield.
Really?
Yep. I looked at that, I was like,
Oh.
really? Mayfield?
Okay, all right, this is my last question for you. If you don't get this one, I'm not going to be surprised. This is kind of more of my little fun one.
Okay.
But here it is. So during their 1985 Super Bowl winning season, Coach Ditka of the Chicago Bears kept receiving phone calls from a mysterious woman. On every phone call, the woman would seductively invite Coach Ditka to come down to the local motel for, a few hours, a good time. Now, while Coach Ditka never went to the motel, he did discover the identity of the mysterious woman. Who was the mysterious woman?
His wife?
No, I feel like that would be the most common guess, though.
Oh, man. Oh, is it? So, I'm looking at the Facebook message you sent me because I don't remember her name. Virginia McCaskey?
Oh, it is not Virginia McCaskey. That would be funny.
I don't know at that point. I was thinking, I was like, you sent me a name that was a chick, and it would be funny if it was.
So the answer is, Coach Ditka was actually at practice one day, and he heard the voice behind him going, "Oh, Coach Ditka, you're so handsome. Come see me at the motel." And, you got to imagine he's probably like, Shoulders stiffen, all the hair on his neck raises back. He's like, oh, crap, that woman's behind me. And he turns around, and he sees Walter Payton, who's been prank calling him all the time.
I was just saying, is this like a Bears quarterback at the time? Because that'd be hilarious.
Not quarterback, but running back.
Oh, I love Walter Payton so much more now.
Yep. I'm sad he's gone. But anyway.
Man, that was a lot of fun. That last question I think was probably the best one to end on, honestly.
Yeah. Worth a good laugh.
Oh, man. All right.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in on that one, especially as we did this fun little trivia.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe, like, during the offseason, we might grab, like, a few more trivia questions for the NFL to, like, kind of fill the time, because we're going to be doing it every other week, so it'll give us something more fun to do, it'll give you guys something more fun to do, and allow you guys to, like, enjoy football more and learn a little bit more.
Absolutely, because, I mean, hey, knowing this stuff actually isn't that bad if you're ever going to, like, toss around your knowledge of the NFL.
Yeah, Walter Payton pretending to be a girl while prank calling Mike Ditka. That's not going to leave my head for a while.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, thanks for tuning in, guys. McKay, is there anything that you want to add?
Nope. Looking forward to the Super Bowl next week. And you know what? Another thing that we're going to be talking about, too, probably next week is a little bit about award season. Who's going to be getting some of the individual awards. So
Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. There's also Offensive and Defensive Player, Rookie of the Year, right?
And then Coach of the Year. Yep. Assistant Coach of the Year. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. But like always, guys, it's been a lot of fun. We really enjoyed doing this. We're really happy with the participation we got tonight, especially with the trivia. Trivia was honestly a lot more fun than I thought it would be, so we're probably going to start at least throwing one or two in every once in a while now. Potentially. Just because, like, it's a lot of fun, honestly.
It is. It was good.
But, as always, guys, have a good night. Have a good week. Enjoy watching football. Enjoy some of the pro football games going on right now with the low activities that they're doing. Enjoy the pro football if you decide to watch it, or not, because that's cool too, because it's not everybody's thing.
Yeah, it's not mine.
But, yeah, McKay, anything else you want to add?
I feel like you want me to say what I usually say at the end of...
I mean, you don't have to. I just don't know if there's anything else you want to say to our lovely people, or if you're just good to call it a night and let's head home.
Work hard, enjoy football, keep your loved ones close, and make sure they're not Cowboys fans. Thank you and good night.
All right, with that, everyone, have a nice night.